you have to have terms and conditions of it, like warning. This.
Well, I mean, we might say a comment that might come across as Jeremy Clarkson when he's riding his mobility scooter when he's doing the Amazon Prime stick video. As you are recently aware, I've recently became busy. He got sacked. Why do you speak in such an alien language?
Hey guys, and welcome back to another off-topic episode 3. I think now. Am I losing count already? I can't remember, but
I think you
this
have.
is
I think this is like episode 4 or 5 actually.
5 or 5. This is 3. Okay. No, this is
5 or 5. 3. No one gives a.
Regardless, this is that random episode we do like a Monday that is just, I don't know, 40 minutes to an hour of just nothingness.
Before we go to work, we just let our brains spill out with shit.
Yeah, basically. It's just our chance nonsense for like an hour or so. But anyway, yeah, this is what that is. We don't really have a topic, so we're gonna literally in the name.
We say shit, so you don't have to. We say shit, so we don't say it at work and embarrass us. Yeah, we get it. We let it all out now.
But yeah, right. So what have you been up to? That's the first question.
Fucking question for an off topic. What have you been up to?
Even though I know it's a semi-rhetorical question.
Well, I've been working on something like.
Oh yeah, seriously, you actually have been working on stuff.
I've just been working on stuff. Like I'm writing a book at the moment, so I'm in the middle of chapter 2 of that.
Oh, you're actually in chapter 2 now. I thought, nice.
I finished chapter 1 like a month ago. I've been working on chapter 2.
It's not very finalizing it. Oh, fair enough.
No.
By the way, because you want to do it in series form, sorry to interrupt, because you want to do it in series form, are you purposely making it shorter story? Is that what you were just referencing then? Like, or are you...
No, it's because, well, one, I'm not good when it comes to, like, long-winded shit. Like, I like something a bit more easy to follow.
Long-winded shit? You love franchises!
I don't mean it like that. Yeah, franchises are like long-winded. The medium in terms of building up to that point. It's like, for instance, we just had Loki, right? So, episodes 1 through 6, each scene of each episode is not very long-winded.
No.
Could easily, like, I'd love for it. I used to love TV shows. Now they just really annoy me because I just want all of it as one. Like, I don't get why Loki or WandaVision or Falcon Winter Soldier couldn't have been made into movies. I don't get why they just decided we're going to just split the narratives down in sections and just release it as a TV show to just bulk out
just different forms of content, really, isn't it?
To fill the void for the lack of releases last year because of the pandemic.
Like, they can spend...
Even though that was their plan anyway.
They can spend...
Disney was behind coronavirus. Think about it. Disney Plus did become available in the UK the moment we pretty much got into lockdown to start with.
Well, no, that was...
theory here, guys.
For Disney, that was they had the best timing for that, yeah. Because it's like...
Yeah.
The moment people had to stay at home.
Add the clip from Incredibles after you say that best moment from coincidence. I think not.
Well, no,
cut that bit. Though.
Their timing was perfect because, like as soon as everyone everything to do, especially like Amazon thrived last year, and ever since lockdowns and things, all of the social streaming, all of the streaming platforms have thrived because of COVID, because people have had to stay at home and not go out, and so during the lockdowns they made take like 80% of their salaries in the UK and just be locked down.
I heard a rumor that in fact, and this is obviously only really applicable to the UK, but it might come into place into other countries as well because of how things have been rising. Here in the UK, we've had quite a rise in cases. So Bojo, our PM, has been talking about inevitability of going into a milked 4th installment of something we like to call lockdown.
Your installments.
So, yeah, so we've had the beginning, we've had the middle, we've had the end. Now we got to have a fucking epilogue / cliffhanger to another trilogy of lockdowns afterwards, I suspect. Just implemented week to the final week of the 6 weeks holiday that the children get before they go back to school, college, or rehabilitation, or whatever they do when they're not home.
Yeah, it's messy.
Yeah.
What has happened in the last year, really, or since like March, April last year, the first lockdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we won't go into another lockdown because, well, it's the Delta variant that's literally gone worldwide now, and
Why did they
now
use the term variant?
because it's a
Why?
variation.
Yeah, but like,
Just because you're
like
obsessed with Loki doesn't mean it's linked, all right? Take your mind out of Marvel for
the
1 minute,
multiverse
for
of
one episode.
coronaviruses.
Like,
Coronavirus gives another version of it as coronavirus, and then that dies of coronavirus, but it is coronavirus. So, you know, I could just
okay,
picture them all in a room together, just talking about like, I'm the Delta variant, I'm the
God.
Italian variant, the Indian variant.
But it is annoying. I don't. Who knows what's going to happen?
My
Um,
country, my throne. You know, Italy versus India.
pretty
Variants of
much.
coronavirus.
But with
I
any luck,
mean about that.
with any luck, it doesn't
Yeah.
happen. I mean, literally, as of today in the UK, July 19th is the official. It's now it's the lifting of restrictions officially in the UK, which
Freedom
means
Day.
our Freedom Day, as it's known COVID wise. So you can technically, like, there's no 2 meter rule anymore. Well, basically, what has happened is that
Well, the way
all the
they've gone
rules
about
have
it is
gone.
that,
They're just
yeah,
advising you.
sensible.
Yeah, they've
Act responsibly.
wiped out the rules. They're just advising you to stick to them in certain scenarios, which, in my opinion, personally makes sense because COVID still exists. And if you don't stop rules, I don't want to get political, but if you don't stop rules, people will complain. If you do stop rules, people will complain either sides because as soon as there's politics, there's diversity because you have two different sides of a political
But
like
yeah, well,
decision
you
usually.
take the rules out the equation. It's just like the purge, isn't it? People just do whatever the fuck they want.
And then you do
You know?
people will always break rules and people will always follow rules. So there's two sides to everything normally. So,
Oh, rules are meant to be broken crap. Like, well, no,
hmm
they're not. It's just
but
an expression criminals use. Yeah.
that's just the situation. So today is like the Freedom Day in the UK, July 19th. So whether or not like there's repercussions because of today, we'll see. I imagine that there was a spike last time anyway in the UK because of the last easing in June, but we'll see what happens with this one. I imagine this will be the worst because we'll have like literally because people now no longer have to social distance and it's only advisory, it's not an actual rule. People are now only being advised to social distance where in like indoor spaces and like don't have to wear. I don't even know if you have to, don't quote us on anything I say. Just I'm literally referencing what I've seen like headlines. I don't know if there's no masks or anything anymore. I have no idea.
Yeah,
Are
there
they still?
isn't.
There
Uh,
isn't. Okay.
well, regarding my place anyway, where
Yeah.
I work, there's no masks, but you can wear them if you wish to. It's
Yeah.
optional. It's kind of advised that you do,
In indoor spaces,
um,
especially. Yeah. Yeah.
especially in indoor spaces, and in the premise that you, someone who, like, for instance, suffers from like health conditions like asthma,
Yeah.
and or also isn't hugely the most healthy person in the world, and also has a family to feed
Yeah.
as well.
Pretty much. And then that's just. We'll see what happens with these new rules in the UK though, and we'll see if I imagine there'll be more cases and things. Well, it's literally obviously the government had to extend what was going to be like July 21st, I think, to June 21st to July 19th, purely because like the Delta variant came and
Yeah.
started being a real pain
Well,
in
I'm
the ass.
surprised they haven't made any announcements about doing it this time, but annoyingly, there's like this weird grey area where half the public's going to be like, you have no choice but to, and then the other half's like, you can't promise something and now go back on it. But
Mm,
logically, if I was in charge, as much as it would have upset people, I would have had to just keep pushing it until it was safe. And to be honest, it's never really going to be safe. So you need to find a compromisation. And I think that
mm,
it won't. What they're doing isn't going to necessarily kill anyone, but it's, well, he says, but annoyingly, you can't be dependent on society. There still needs to be like laws in place because there's going to be people that are technically allowed to do what they are going to do without it being a crime, because legally they don't have to do what they're going to do, which is going to cause spikes in the virus, shall we say.
no, exactly.
So
it's the same with any government. Is that like you have the government will obviously have to try and please both sides. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And obviously, at the moment, they're there. I think this is the finest example of trying to find a middle ground for both sides, because there are obviously many people that find that what the government have done is like they're monsters, and it's the worst. You know, the worst thing the government could have done is that what's happened this past year or so. And then there are some people that think the government have done absolutely the best they can, and
Well, I
you know, the
mean,
hard work
let's
they
put it this
have
way:
is so
it could
divisive.
be worse. It could be worse. They could have like not. They could have done it so like you're not allowed to wear face masks or something when it would have been a best form of protection, or
Mm,
because it looks like you. It's like walking into a bank with a man with like a face full on like helmet on, and you're going to rob the place. Like they might have conceived it as that sort of thing.
yeah.
So therefore, there's no protection, no social distancing, no track and trace apps or anything like that,
No.
or any of those systems put into place at all. We're just meant to carry on.
Mm,
Like, oh, if you die from it, that's your fault.
yeah.
For just
Exactly.
being too close to someone who had it. Like that would be and no lockdowns. So therefore, nothing would have changed. Everything would have been the same since 2019. Only the difference is we would have had more deaths, to a
Mm,
point of nearly complete wipeout of nations and
yeah.
shit. Apart from the bare minimum of younger people who are, you know, anti, you know,
Well,
body
it's
like they've got
typically
anti-COVID bodies.
yeah. You've got
Yeah,
obviously
it's probably a
younger
better way of saying it. I can't
adults.
think.
Younger adults have typically been the ones. I mean, literally, like nightclubs open today, and they're now basically, as far as the news is concerned, I literally looked at like two headlines, and they look, packed and completely full. I mean, obviously, I guess there is certain limits still, but the youth, the younger adults in the younger generation will, you know, some will act like COVID is gone, I reckon, and others will, still treat it like, it was like a month ago or whatever. But we'll see what happens with it. We're not the government anyway, so we're just
No,
waffling on about points. But yeah, today's the day for all the
I
lifting.
mean I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wish I was. I wish I was.
You
Or
don't. You'd
if
have a lot of headaches. It'd just be constant,
yeah,
lots
but
and lots
like
and lots of headaches
I don't want
and
to. I like to
questions.
make. I'd want to make things fair for everybody. Yeah, that's what Make things easy for everybody. Make things fair.
There's always someone that won't be pleased with the result. Is government
Die
at the
then.
end of
I'm
the day.
joking.
Because like it's just government is very divisive, whether in what they do or how people see it, in my opinion, anyway. And that's just where it goes.
Favoritism.
Well, literally, it's just like
Yeah.
obviously, if you
I do it.
don't,
I do it as in better favoritism. In better
yeah,
favoritism. So it would be like 75% of population, all people that I personally would, all types of people that I personally appreciate
mm,
would, get what they want, and then the people would be behind bars or doing what they don't want to do. Because
great, thanks. I've now got to cut that out. Yeah, I've now got to bleep you for that because you just thought about everything. Then your brain just went. "Pleh." I'm just gonna say everything that
yeah,
happens. "Pleh." Your brain had no
yeah.
barrier then, so one word. Brilliant. Thanks, Ollie. But yeah.
Oh, as a statement, but yeah,
uh
we can reword that. So no, if I was in charge, I'd want to make it as fair as possible to people. Like for instance, I'd change like law. One thing I would definitely change would be like laws, rules and laws regarding like how much, for instance, footballers get paid compared to like people in hospitals, like no nurses and doctors and things. Like I feel like they should get a very huge
yeah, but
amount of
one,
like
don't forget,
pay
like,
compared to like a footballer.
the reason
Yes,
that
yes, a footballer is like in the public eye, and they do, yeah. So
I don't know
there
how
are going to
much like a
be
football ticket costs, but like the reason is the National Health Service is funded by the government, which is funded by taxes and all of the other. I'm not going to go into it, but funded by people's taxes. Well, national insurance
in other
contributions.
words, I wouldn't want to like. I hate the fact that like someone can't afford like surgery that saves their life in hospital. Then a lot of the money goes towards people in sports when some of that money could have gone towards like helping pay for somebody who needs life-saving
Mm.
treatment, for
Yeah,
instance.
exactly. Well, it's like
That's the
it's all those
argument.
like posts on Facebook is like, like football player receives like 100,000 a week, whereas in like NHS, are paid like, I don't know, minimum wage or like 10, 12 quid an hour. Well, I mean, if people to it's annoyingly in the world an unfair comparison because like you don't pay like however much a football ticket is to go and see nurses work, whereas you spend like £200 on a ticket. I don't know how much a football ticket costs these days. I say these days only because
I mean, I understand that they're celebrities, so like in a way, their light, the public eye is their life, and
Mm.
they're going to get a lot of love, they're going to get a lot of hate, and a lot of pressure, and
Not that I
also
don't think everyone
saying
in
they
the
don't
NHS should
deserve a
get like
decent,
10
not
times what they earn.
saying,
Yeah,
not saying because of that they don't deserve a decent wage. It's just,
not at all. No,
to me, it's like, why do they have to have more than what I do for what I do at work?
exactly.
How many hours a week do they work? And technically, are they working because they're having fun? So should there be like leeway there?
Well, a lot
Because
of that type of it's
they're
like
not
the
putting work into their work. They're just doing what they know how to do.
mm,
So technically, that it's not actually work, really, is it? Especially if they enjoy it.
mm. Well, a lot of the
Me,
work
it just
comes
feels
from the
like
bits that
it's
are
non-essential.
painstaking. Like they're just
It's
a lot
non-essential.
of
It's just
athletes are
entertainment.
paid for their time. I mean, athletes are paid for their like training, whereas like footballers they're paid to get up at 5 in the morning to
It's
go to a
almost like they're
training
not
session.
hired. They're just there. It's almost like they're not hired. It's just that they're there, isn't it?
Mm.
Like, you
Well,
know,
money goes to attention at the end of the day.
to
Like,
make
look,
a point, I don't really like football. If it was up to me, it wouldn't exist. It's a waste of time.
hence why you
Yeah,
didn't watch the Euro.
hence why I don't watch the Euros, because I think it's like a waste of a person's potential. It's just kicking a ball around a pitch, like they've got nothing better to do, no brain capacity or anything. But yeah, that's my opinion, by the way.
Oh god.
Hate me if you must for disliking football, but I don't think about it for all sports.
You'll
I
never
just
be
think
you'll never be hearing
football
football
is
news
like
from
the
Ollie.
most.
Let's just say that.
Football is just like other sports really require like brain mentality. Football's just like knowing how to like flip your feet and fucking just like tackle people and run around a ball, chasing after a
To
ball.
people that really understand the technicalities of football, I apologize.
There's no fucking technicalities of football. You just have to have good reflexes in your feet muscles and literally just run around a pitch, know how to block people. That's about it. They just know the rules of football, which are all made up anyway. But yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna go for the perspective of like a football manager now, or like a football coach, right? I'm gonna say, well, all stage acting is, and it's just literally, projecting your voice and learning some lines. By the way, I know
True.
I agree as well. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you perspective of like.
I agree. Well, personally,
I'm trying to help for audience sake here, so we don't get hated.
I do theatre, and I enjoy theatre, and I do all that, and I agree that there's not much that comes from someone who naturally has talent of singing and acting stuff, other than the fact that they know what they're doing. Like
The controversy.
yeah, I'm not going to blow my own
I'm joking,
trumpet,
by the way.
but I can sing, and I can act and dance and whatnot, and it's like
Ollie
I do sometimes
TikTok.
have the. Yeah, I do. Yeah, check out my TikTok, by the way. I'm not going to say what it is, by the way, but if you know who I am, then you'll know where to find me. Plus, I always post hashtag virals. So if you look for those, I'll always be on those pages. That's another hint. But yeah, there's thousands of them, so enjoy scrolling through it. No, like, as a performer, like, I do sometimes think, have I actually got, like, a created talent here, or is it just something that's natural? And I feel like people that have natural talent work, if that makes sense, because they're just good at what they do. And it's like footballers. Yeah, footballers are great at what they do, like, doing what they do.
Yeah.
Regarding football, like the same way I'm good at what I do regarding acting, but you're not actually working. You're not actually working. You're not doing something to be hugely proud of compared to people that put work in to achieve what they do, because you just naturally have it. You know what I mean? Like that's sometimes the perspective I have.
The perspective I think is that, like, for instance, actors.
Don't stop me from doing it though. Like, people make me feel proud of having the talents and the skills that I do regarding what
It's
I
a
do.
bit
That's
like,
great. But,
for instance, But like, let's give the perspective for people watching this podcast.
You've jumped so much in topics,
I
by
know.
the way, in this
Well,
one.
it's roughly the same. Like when they're using the same comparison, we're just doing different subjects about the same
Evolution
subject.
of
Really,
conversation.
is
Yeah.
that like giving the subject of like if, for instance, this was our job. And like you said, okay, technically we love it because we're talking about what we love to talk about. We're talking about films, TV series, and whatever we do. But then the bit that we are technically being paid for is planning episodes, editing them, coming up with each post for social media, like promoting it on websites or whatever, and like the bits that we don't actually love to do, and showing your fucking perfect white enamel. And go, yeah, mine are worse. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's like there's always, it's like actors, you know, the job for actors is the part they don't like, is, you know, the cool times of getting onto a set or like going around the world for 3 months after a film's being premiered.
Yeah. Thinking about it in that way, yeah, that's the job. That's
The
the job. That's the
80%
effort
of
they
the
put
work
in.
is actually
It's having
like
to wake up at like 4 a.m., travel somewhere, which takes about maybe 2 hours, maybe a little bit less, maybe a bit more. It's really early. They're really shattered, and then they got to just be themselves.
like for instance,
Other
you've
than they're
just been
tired, can't be asked to be themselves. Talent.
you're signed up, you've
Then other than
been
that,
like for instance, you say you're on a film for 5-6 months, you finish the film, you have a month off, and then for 2.5 months you've got to travel the world doing exactly the same interview to about 2,000 different interviewees for about 2.5 months, and you've got to get up at like 5-6 a.m. every day, go to bed at like midnight, and that's your life for 2 months. That's what you're technically being paid to do. You love acting, but you just have to go on like Graham Norton show. You got to go on like the Fox. You got to go all the different news
all
stations
I
around the
can
world.
think of is fucking Tom
Tom
Hiddleston
Only
on
because of
fucking
Loki,
on
fucking
fucking
dance and
Graham. All I can think of is
Graham
Tom Hiddleston. I
Norton.
think it was the Graham Norton show where he's doing an
Yeah.
Owen Wilson impression. He's like, "No, I'm not here. I'm from now. I'm from fucking wow now. I'm not from then. I'm from now."
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Ka-chow. Wow. Now.
That was brilliant,
Yeah,
mate.
that's all I can think of. Is like, it's like day-to-day mentality when he
I
works
know.
on something new, finds an actor to take the mick out of.
Literally.
On set with him.
Great impressions, though. Also, the night manager, Tom Hiddleston. Although Tom Hiddleston's known for Loki now, I think it was on
I
BBC.
feel like Loki's his best known role. Now,
Yeah.
but he's done it. He's
A very, very
weirdly,
underrated
he's actually
thing,
been
man.
in a lot of like BBC stuff, and he's part of a new BBC series that's coming out now soon as well. And I thought to myself, holy shit, that Hollywood merge of like, you know, him playing Loki in the MCU and like
gets
he's
everywhere.
starring in
He does
British
theatre work. He
British
does
television
everything.
shows, like, you know.
Yeah. But he was in The Night Manager, which is based off a book called that, I think. That is a great little mini series. It's a almost like, it's got a very spy thing going on about it. It's about like espionage and
It's his
things.
audition for James Bond.
Basically is, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted Tom Hiddleston to be Bond, watch The Night Manager and you'll be even more convinced. But that was a really good
No,
series.
I don't think that's the. Even though
No,
I think we've mentioned this in the video before, but when we talked about No Time to Die, there's a new trailer for that out, by the way. But we're convinced it's only playing in cinemas.
I
Obviously,
think it
work in
must
cinema,
be
so I've seen it.
because it's not an
It's not the
official
same trailer
Bond trailer. It's not the Bond
it's not-
channel.
It's not the same one that I'm
At least
used
from
to
what I found.
watching, but it is on in cinemas.
They
That
seem to only
trailer's
add like a couple of
new
shots
footage
to
to
it.
This is just the same trailer re-released. I don't know.
I don't know.
Different parts.
Well, they seem to have
But,
actually added like a couple of shots that we've not seen before to it, so who knows? But not that I can see. I mean, there was a trailer a month ago, apparently. Unless this is one. No. Oh no, I hate. Okay, this is what I hate is when random channels will put like the behind the scenes at the beginning and the end of the trailer and just say brand new trailer, even though it isn't. It's just the footage at the beginning and the end. But oh well. But yeah, we've actually got our list of episodes coming out literally over the next like 12 weeks. So we hopefully will be able to stick to these because what will be most likely changing from this week is obviously because most theaters actually, the most films are actually released on a Friday of each week to sort of the end of the week. Go watch a film.
Well, you've got the Wednesday release, which clashes with like in this is the UK. I don't know if it works the same in other countries. I should know this. Meerkat movies here in the UK, you know, compare the market.com with the two. Are they fucking? Are they Meerkats? Obviously, yeah, brilliant.
Meerkats in the name.
It's even in the name. Brilliant. Oh, yeah. Anyway, you got them. Part of comparethemarket.com, all that, car insurance and other shit. Go on insurance, whatever the hell. So you got Meerkat movies. So that's for Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but we don't really get Tuesday releases so much. We get more Wednesday releases with that. Like a couple weeks ago, we had Black Widow that came out, and it was the day we got our Meerkat movies like subscription thing sorted for those users as in customers. So a lot of people coming in using that, as well as their unlimited and all that sort of stuff. And you got like sometimes Thursday releases. Like a few weeks before that, we got Fast and Furious 9 that came out on Thursday. And then you've just got the sort of Friday releases because they're like the big budget weekend ones. Like Friday's that sort of day where it's like the last day of the 9 to 5s. You know, so people are going to be free in the evening and they're not going to worry about priorities the next 2 days. So they're more than likely going to come in for a cinema date, watch a big film, and then you'll get the big take at the end of the weekend. Nothing will come out on it. Very rare that stuff comes out on a Saturday and Sunday unless it's like Christmas time. Like I've noticed stuff does come out on Saturdays and Sundays if it's like in December. Like December, January, February is like when stuff could potentially. November, December, January, February is when stuff would come out on like a Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Because it's getting close to Christmas, and you know they've got loads of releases, and they need to like jam them in appropriately together without box office clashes and stuff. But yeah,
that's why we'll most likely be changing from this week the release of our episode, because usually we release our main episode on a Friday at midnight. So what we'll probably be doing is doing a Saturday at midnight, basically a 24-hour advanced shift, purely because if the film comes out on the Friday, we'll be watching it on the Friday and then reviewing it when we get back, and then it will be a midnight release talking about it. So
did you want to mention the videos that we are
well,
going to be doing?
I was about to find it as I was halfway through.
I know one of them, but I know it's like probably one of the last ones in our
group. Yeah, we've got well, I've got like 12 weeks worth of plans now. I basically just went through all of the latest releases we'll have coming out. And so this week is, let's have a look. This week is the new Snake Eyes, the new G.I. Joe film. And then we got Jungle Cruise, I think. Yeah, Jungle Cruise coming in 2 weeks. Jungle Cruise and The Green Knight, which is a Dev Patel, I think that's his name thing. That looks really good. It's an A24 film. It's surprisingly, it's a very big, very well promoted film for an A24 film, because normally they're quite small and kind of indie, but it's, you know, got loads of notice on YouTube by the looks of it. And then 3 weeks time is Suicide Squad, and then we've got Free Guy, which is the Ryan. Whoa, your mic just went crazy. I apologize.
Yeah, I know. Oh god, there we go.
Free Guy, which is the Ryan Reynolds film coming out in a month.
Taika Waititi in it. Yeah. Also, go add the link in at the end as well, because we'll have there's a video of Deadpool with Korg, like literally breaking it down. It's like a hint towards like a Deadpool 3 trailer. Now, obviously, that being set in the MCU as well. Thank you, Fox,
and then
for the Disney merger. Everything's so fucking confusing.
So there's a film called Reminiscence coming out on August 20th, I think, with Hugh Jackman. That's just going to be sort of a fairly off one. It's still a brand new film coming out that week. Basically, at this point, all of the main episodes will actually be a brand new film that's come out this week that we're talking about, and it will be sort of the day of or the morning after the film's released. We'll be talking about it. And then we've got Candyman in 6 weeks, and then in 7 weeks, Shang-Chi.
The Legend of the Ten Rings.
There we go. And then 2 weeks after
big references to Iron Man there. So.
What have we got? So 2 weeks after that, we got Venom 2, Let Be Carnage.
Let Be Carnage.
And then there's technically two films. One of them's animation, The Addams Family 2, and The Many Saints of Newark, which is basically a like origin prequel to The Sopranos, basically, if you've ever seen that. and No Time to Die the week after that. So that will be
Spot on.
like we've done a No Time to Die episode already, but obviously it was based on the hype of the trailers and everything. And then this one will actually
Yeah,
be
so this one will be the
the
video that we
official
actually
one.
talk about the film.
And then October 15th is
To build up to that, we might do a Craig marathon as well, just for some extra content. So like
maybe,
each
yeah.
week we'll talk about one of the Bond films
Yeah.
starring Daniel Craig.
The
The reason we'll do that is because I feel like they're only canon to each other based per actor.
Yeah.
As you count the whole Sean Connery leaving for a film and then coming back 2 films later, when someone else took who took his role in between.
I cannot.
He was in it at one point, and then he left for a film. Someone replaced him, and then he came back for the one after.
Oh, who was that? Sure.
So if you count all that canon,
Yeah. And then we've got Halloween and the Last Duel on October 15th, and June the week after that. And then we have The Eternals on November 5th. November 5th,
yeah,
I think.
a video we
There we
definitely talk about.
So yeah, there's 2 Marvel for there, I think.
Yeah.
2 Marvel over the
Then
next...
obviously we'll have all our bonus What If episodes when they drop.
Yeah, these are just
all
Friday
of
or
our bonus,
Saturday episodes. Yeah.
all of our bonus Hawkeye episodes when they drop. All of our bonus Miss Marvel episodes when they drop. We may even talk about The Mandalorian as well at some point. I've just heard news about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or as the page was titling it, Sorcerer's Stone, because it's the American copy of it. It's going to get re-released in cinemas with some magic effect or something. So that, and they've been talking about that like as if it's going to add anything new to the story. So, you know, that'll be interesting, I suppose. Plus, eventually we'll get Fantastic Beasts 3, which is meant to come out this year. I think it's now going to come out either next year or the year after. So obviously we'll do a video on that eventually as well. I'll just be doing loads of Harry Potter videos because it's really coming back into the medium at some point as well. We've been discussing.
And you're a huge fan now.
And I'm a huge fan of it. And also, just like as much brand new and relevant content as much, which is why we've been going for all the new film releases, because we figured it's probably better rather than just randomly talking about films that have come out like 4 years ago or more. It's better to just talk about like it's all right to talk about them sometimes if you've just got nothing else to discuss, and obviously we've got valid arguments for and against them. But it's better to just, as people know, and this is a bit self-explanatory really, this is almost like breaking the fourth wall of a podcaster. It's best to like just talk about relevant stuff, like brand new relevant stuff.
Exactly.
Because you guys are more into
people
that,
care more about something that's coming out this week than something that came out 5 years ago.
To quote Ricky Gervais from Night at the Museum Battle of the Smithsonian, or as I like to call it, Night at the Museum 2, because it's a sequel. I don't like people getting confused with installment numbers. That's the only thing I dislike about Harry Potter. People, Mr. Daly, love what's next. You should know that. You left.
Yep.
I don't know why I use that example. It's just one of my favourite films of all time.
Oh my god.
I love Ricky Gervais in that trilogy. He's so funny. You gonna mug me? No, I'll be prepared.
Oh god. Out of any film, fair enough. But yeah, that's been a bit of a rant.
Daddy, look, there's a big Tyrannosaurus Rex thing. Can I touch his leg? No.
And on this note, bit shorter than expected, but even so, still a fairly long off topic.
Each film.
Yeah, thank you for watching today's episode or listening to it, and we'll see you on Wednesday for
the Marvel's Assembled BTS.
There we go.
Of the production behind Loki. And during that video, we may also do breakdowns of the WandaVision 1 and Falcon and Winter Soldier, because we didn't do those previously either.
There we go.
If you want to do, well, we'll discuss that another time. But yeah, catch you in a bit.
Thanks, guys.